A single murder. In a country famous for being one of the safest in the world, that should be a tragedy, sure, but a self-contained one. But what if that one single act of violence could actually start to unravel a nation's economy, expose a hidden, dark world of forgotten kids, and even get turned into a weapon in a global standoff? Well, that's exactly the story we're unpacking today.
Yeah, you heard that right. This is about so much more than just a street stabbing in Osaka. This is about a single thread that, when you pull it, threatens to unravel Japan's entire economy, its super fragile peace with China, and the very myth of its own safety that it sells to the world. So let's start where it all began, Dotonbori. It's the beating heart of Osaka's nightlife. I mean, just picture it for a second. The glow of 1,000 neon signs, the amazing smell of takoyaki and ramen, the roar of the crowds. Now imagine all of that being shattered by one single brutal act of violence. It all went down in a flash. Valentine's Day, just 5 minutes to midnight. An argument over a young woman gets heated, and then there's a sudden flash of steel. The victim, just a kid, only 17 years old, he probably doesn't even realize how badly he's been hurt. He runs, just desperate to get away, before he collapses right there under the neon glow of the Ebisu Bridge. A life just gone in a matter of seconds. Now, get this. The suspect, Ryoka Iwasaki, later told the police he just wanted to threaten the victim. But the evidence? It tells a much, much darker story. A deep, deliberate slash to the neck. Come on, this wasn't a threat that just went wrong. This was an execution, plain and simple. But here's the thing. This wasn't just some random act of violence. To really understand why this happened, we need to look closer at where it happened. Because right beneath that iconic Glico Running Man sign, you know the one, there's another world. A hidden world that most tourists, and frankly most Japanese people, never, ever see. They call it Gurishita. For years, it was this kind of unofficial refuge for lost kids, runaways, school dropouts, the forgotten ones. They found a sense of family here, a place to belong. But that sanctuary has curdled. It's turned sour. Now, it's basically a lawless zone, a breeding ground for violence and a hunting ground for gangs. And this points to a really terrifying shift in Japanese street culture. I mean, the old biker gangs, the Bozozoku, they had rules, hierarchies, a kind of twisted code of honor. This new violence? It's a whole different beast. It's anonymous, it's impulsive, it's totally unpredictable, and it's often fueled by some dumb spat on social media. A knife is no longer some symbol of gang loyalty. It's becoming a casual accessory. But these lost kids, they're just the visible symptom of the disease. Lurking in the shadows, recruiting from their ranks, is a far more sophisticated, far more terrifying force that has Japan's national police agency absolutely scrambling. They are the Tokuryu, and I want you to forget everything you think you know about Japanese organized crime. These are not the Yakuza. These guys are phantoms. They operate like these dark, twisted tech startups, managed through encrypted apps where every member is just an anonymous avatar. They are ruthlessly efficient and nearly impossible to track. Just take Natural, for example. It's Japan's largest tokuryu, with about 2,000 members. Their main business? Scouting women across the country for the sex trade. And here's the real kicker. Their members include students from Japan's absolute top universities. Their methods? There are reports of torture and violence so extreme, they make the old-school Yakuza look like a gentleman's club. So you're probably asking, why? Why would the best and brightest kids in the country risk everything for this? Well, the answer is depressingly simple. Money. Up to 3 million yen a month. In a country where real economic opportunity is just drying up for the younger generation, that kind of salary is a temptation that can turn even the most brilliant minds to the dark side. Okay, so a local murder, a new breed of criminal, you might think this is where the story ends. But no, this is where it goes global. Because the tragic death of one teenager in Osaka was about to become a pawn in a huge, high-stakes game between Tokyo and Beijing. So you have to understand the political backdrop here. It's crucial. Japan's new Prime Minister, Sanae Takaichi, has been incredibly aggressive towards China, especially over the issue of Taiwan. Her statements have pushed already strained relations right to the breaking point. She's basically drawn a red line that puts Japan on a collision course with Beijing. So, when the Dotonbori murder exploded in the news, It was the perfect excuse for China to hit back. They issued an official travel advisory, pointing to worsening public safety. Of course, it was all dressed up as concern for their citizens, but everybody knew exactly what it was: a targeted economic attack. And the effect was immediate and, honestly, catastrophic. 49 flight routes just gone. And this was during Chinese New Year, the busiest travel season of the entire year. It was a surgical strike aimed directly at the heart of Japan's already fragile tourism industry. Street crime, phantom gangs, diplomatic warfare. See, these aren't separate stories. They're all tangled up in the same interconnected crisis. And the price Japan is paying is so much greater than the life of one young man. What we're witnessing are the very foundations of the nation starting to crack under the pressure. And this is all happening at the absolute worst possible time. Japan's economy is already on life support. GDP is flat, exports are falling. Is it really any wonder that young people are turning to crime for a shot at a better life? This isn't just one crisis, it's a cascade of them, each one making the others worse, rattling the markets, and just hammering corporate giants. And this anonymous, explosive aggression, it's not just contained to dark alleyways in Osaka. It's like a national sickness, a rage that's boiling just beneath the surface of society, and it has found the perfect outlet online. Just look at this number. In less than a single month, Japan's own Olympic heroes were bombarded with over 62,000 abusive posts online. Athletes who got injured and had to withdraw were attacked with this special kind of venom. It's the exact same pattern as Dotonbori, faceless rage with zero consequences. The stabbing in Osaka, the rise of the tokuryu, the showdown with China, the storm of online hate. You have to see that these are not separate events. They're all just symptoms of the same disease, a sickness that's running deep in the heart of Japanese society right now. It's a terrifying chain reaction. Let's just walk through it. One murder exposes a forgotten generation. That generation then fuels a new, scarier kind of crime. That crime becomes a weapon for a foreign power to attack an already wounded economy. Each link in the chain just makes the next one stronger. It's a truly vicious cycle. Which leaves us with this really unsettling question. Is Japan's famous social harmony, the wa, is it all just a beautiful lie? Is the immense crushing pressure to conform, to fit in, so intense that it's actually creating these pockets of explosive, anonymous rage when it all finally boils over? The answer to that, well, it might just determine the future of Japan itself.